I also rise to support the amendment by the Senate. I served with Honorable Kihara in the Lands Committee, and I know he has been at this for the longest. Madam Speaker, as we talk now, there is a land of my Mahiu Girls Secondary School. Everybody in the neighborhood knows that that land was for the school. But somebody has gone to lands, he has gotten a title, so now the school is fighting over that land. Suppose that title was given when the subdivision was being made or when the school was going to get that title. So this is very, very important. We have seen even the land buying companies, when they leave public facilities, eventually the same directors, because they know where they left these pieces of land, they go back and subdivide them or grab them. So this is a good law, and I support it, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very well. Honorable Makali.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also want to appreciate Honorable Kihara for this important legislation. But I'm just wondering, Honorable Speaker, whether it has not come too late in the day. Because, Honorable Speaker, if we were to document public land which has been grabbed, starting from schools, road reserves, hospitals, public beaches, the list will be endless, Honorable Speaker. I know it is not possible, those who are legal minds, I know it's not possible to apply some law retrogressively, that is going backwards. But I think, Honorable Speaker, we need to come up with a mechanism to ensure that anybody who has grabbed public land, because if you go to the original maps, and we have surveyors here, if you go to the original maps, you'll be able to know originally this land was set aside for what. And even most of our estates, Honorable Speaker, you realize that land set aside for our children to play has already been grabbed. Land set aside for police posts has already been grabbed. Land set aside for health centers has already been grabbed. So you have a whole estate, and you can't have any place you can put our public facility like a health center, Honorable Speaker. So even as I support, I think as a house, we need to take up the challenge and ask ourselves, is it possible that we go back and look at where the rain started beating us so that we are able to recover this land? Because so long as land was grabbed, Honorable Speaker, even if it was done 40 years ago, it still remains for public land. If we were to go that direction, we'll have so much land for our public utilities that there will be no need to start buying. Honorable Speaker, at times I get so much annoyed. I feel bad as a Kenyan that you see land which was originally public land, the government coming up later and buying the same land from a, you know, it doesn't make sense at all. If you follow the story of the NSSF, Honorable Speaker, the history of the NSSF, once upon a time in this country, NSSF was buying land which actually used to belong to the government. It is awarded to a majority leader. For example, I'm giving an example. People don't, let Kenyans not mistake. It's given to Honorable Mbaya, and within 1 year or two, Honorable Mbaya comes with a title, indicates that land is private, and he sells to the same government. This is craziness, Honorable Speaker. And that's why we are saying, I think this law, we need to support it, but even after becoming an act of parliament, I don't know whether we need to set a special committee to look at these matters, although I'm sure it is going to be a very hot potato, but this is the way I would want us to go, that if you grabbed public land at any point in the history of Kenya, let the land go back to the public so that Kenya can sell some of this land and make money. We can actually sell this land to individuals and then pay our public debt. We'll be helping this country. And I'm sure you can pay our public debt if we are to recover all the land and sell to private individuals or private companies, Honorable Speaker. With those many remarks, I support.
Very well. Before I come to Honorable Kihara, I'll indulge you, Member for Molo. You have had very many students come today, so I'll give you 1 minute.
I thank you, Honorable Speaker, for indulgence. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome to the National Assembly the future engineers, future lawyers, future members of parliament, future presidents, future doctors, And these are the great students of Remi Primary School, Nyakembe Secondary School, and Matumaini Primary School to observe the proceedings of this House. Honorable Speaker, I've always taken it as a habit when I visit these schools to invite them, especially the uppermost class, to come and observe the proceedings of Parliament, to come and see that there is life outside Molo. Because one of the things that we have to really do and grow as a people is if we encourage integration, we encourage people to work and live in different parts of this country and to realize that there is a lot of opportunities out here. So thank you for your indulgence. I'd like to welcome the students to observe the proceeding of this House. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. Honorable Kihara. Hold on. Honorable Jayne, are you on this one or it's the former one that you had done? Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to commend the Honorable Member, Kihara, for this amendment. I believe it is timely that when developers are constructing any, or maybe coming up with future plans, they also ensure they encompass and think about the public utilities and amenities that will be needed by the public. Further to that, Honorable Speaker, we do need to have a serious national conversation with the Ministry of Lands in regard to titleage of public land, Honorable Speaker. As we speak, we know that there's various parcels of public land that are in contention in regard to where the title deed is, who owns the title deed, and also private encroachment on public land. In Kirinyaga County, for example, Ngiriambu Primary School land has been encroached by private individuals. And this is a government institution that has been in existence for many years. So we need to resolve these matters, Honorable Speaker, so that our future is safeguarded. Thank you.
Very well. Honorable Kihara.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. But pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 53.3, Madam Speaker, I request deferment of putting of the question on this motion.
It is assented to, and honorable members, order number 14 was subject to the decision of order number 13, so we will go to order number 15 and defer this for another day.
Order number 15, motion, consideration of report on the examination of financial statements for the National Humanitarian Fund.
Honorable Fatuma, Chairperson, Special Funds Account Committee.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the following audited financial statements for National Humanitarian Fund for the financial year 2020-2021, National Humanitarian Fund for the financial year 2021-2022. Honorable Speaker, the committee received oral and written submissions from Mr. Raymond Omolo, the Principal Secretary, State Department, Internal Security and National Administration, and the accounting officer of the fund, regarding the audited financial statement for the financial year 2020-2021 and 2021-2022. The submissions formed the basis of the committee observation findings and recommendations. These are also contained in the minutes and answered reports of the committee proceedings. Honorable Speaker, in preparing and developing this report, the committee relied on the constitutional and legal provisions on the public finance management and other enabling legislations as the basis for inviting the accounting officer of the National Humanitarian Fund to respond to issues raised by the Auditor General, as well as the additional information submitted on the administration and performance, financial and non-financial, of the fund, to come up with general recommendations geared towards effective management and operations of the fund, as well as improved accountability and financial reporting. Honorable Speaker, during the examination of the audited report, the committee made the following general observations which apply across the 2 financial years. 1, at the time of the audit, 4 banks' accounts were dominant and were holding idle funds despite provision in the Act and completion of disbursement of grants to IDPs. This is in contravention of the provision of the Section 16(2) of the Prevention and Protection Assistance to Internally Displaced Persons and Affected Communities Act 2012, which provides that accounting officer may, with approval of the Cabinet Secretary, for the time being responsible for the finance, invest, or place on a deposit interest earning account any of the monies of the fund, and any interest earned on the monies so invested or deposited shall be placed to the credit of the fund. 2, the fund did not have a functional committee since its 3-year tenure expired in 2017, resulting in no funds being disbanded and no payment schedules being prepared due to the absence of a functional committee. This contravenes the Prevention, Protection, and Assistance to Internally Displaced Persons and Affected Communities Act 2012, which prescribes the fund administration procedures, including the compensation and functions of the committee and secretariat. 3, the committee recommended in relation to both issues, the Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Interior and National Administration should reconstitute a functional National Consultative Coordination Committee on IDPs to facilitate the winding up of the matters related to the fund within 6 months upon the adoption of this report. Honorable Speaker, it is for this reason that on behalf of the Special Funds Accounts Committee, I am proud to move this motion on the consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statement for the National Humanitarian Fund. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move, and I now request Honorable Catherine Omanyo, who is a committed committee member, to second the motion. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Member for Busia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I second the motion, and I ardently support our conclusion. I was questioning as well, why should we have a lot of money lying in the accounts for internally displaced people, yet they are displaced because they do not have a place to call home, and they lack social amenities, yet we have all the monies in the account. If somebody is displaced in their own country, we have a lot of idle land. We have land being sold everywhere in this country. Why not use that money to buy land and settle them? So we questioned, and unfortunately, up to date, the issue is still at stake. And I pray that one day, no Kenyan will be displaced. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Very well. Honorable members, I therefore propose a question that this House adopts the report of the Special Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the audited accounts for the National Humanitarian Fund for the financial years 2020-2021 to 2021-2022, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 29th July of 2025. Honorable Makali.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to commend the Honorable Member, Kihara, for this amendment. I believe it is timely that when developers are constructing any, or maybe coming up with future plans, they also ensure they encompass and think about the public utilities and amenities that will be needed by the public. Further to that, Honorable Speaker, we do need to have a serious national conversation with the Ministry of Lands in regard to titleage of public land, Honorable Speaker. As we speak, we know that there's various parcels of public land that are in contention in regard to where the title deed is, who owns the title deed, and also private encroachment on public land. In Kirinyaga County, for example, Ngiriambu Primary School land has been encroached by private individuals. And this is a government institution that has been in existence for many years. So we need to resolve these matters, Honorable Speaker, so that our future is safeguarded. Thank you.
Very well. Honorable Kihara.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. But pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 53.3, Madam Speaker, I request deferment of putting of the question on this motion.
It is assented to, and honorable members, order number 14 was subject to the decision of order number 13, so we will go to order number 15 and defer this for another day.
Order number 15, motion, consideration of report on the examination